The highest level of card changing, it changes with just a touch of... Yes, you read that right. This is just a basic card changing technique. I only need to lightly touch it and the card changes instantly. In just 1 minute, I'll teach you how to do it. The principle behind this card change is actually very simple. It's about pulling out the card underneath and then covering it back up to achieve the change. However, to make it clean and visual, many details and techniques are needed. First, before changing the card, we perform a double lift. A double lift is a technique where 2 cards are flipped as if they were one. And the purpose of the double lift is to make the audience believe that we are only using 1 card to perform the change. This way, it psychologically enhances the effect of the card change. If you're not familiar with the double lift, you can watch my previous video on it. If you're still not proficient with the double lift, you can also turn the entire deck over and use the front of the cards to perform the change. The first step in this card change is to push the top card up a little, but we can't do this directly in front of the audience because this action doesn't make sense logically. Some clever audience members might guess what you're going to do next if they see you pushing the card. So we need to hide this pushing action as much as possible. First, hold the deck in your left hand like this. Then open your right hand and place it beside the deck. Next, perform a covering action with your right hand. When covering, only press down on this part of the card with your pinky, then apply a little upward force with your pinky to push the card out a bit. The covering and pushing actions happen simultaneously, so it looks like you're just covering the card, but in reality, the card has already been secretly pushed up. Here, we push the card up by about 1 centimeter. When you're first practicing, you can push it up a bit more, but during the final performance, the shorter the push, the better. After pushing the card up, use the fleshy part of your palm to pull out the card below like this, until it's completely pulled out and rests at this position. As long as you control the angle well, the audience won't see it. After pulling the card out, the next step is to bring the card back, but we can't just bring it back directly, because that would be too obvious. We need to push the bottom row forward with the right hand while bringing the card back. By combining these 2 actions, you can demonstrate the card retrieval move. After bringing the card back, it's time for the final step of the card change. However, we don't need to rush to cover it with the right hand's card. First, let this part of the card be exposed for a second, then cover it with the right hand's card. This creates a visual after image, enhancing the visual effect of the card change moment. Next, I will perform it once more in slow motion, smoothly and continuously. Once you master this card change, you can apply it to many magic routines. For example, the simplest one is to first have the audience randomly select a card. Then place it back in the middle. And during the shuffling process, use your best card control technique to bring the audience's card to the top without them knowing, of course. Then tell the audience that with just a snap of your fingers, the card they selected will appear on top. Proceed to reveal the top card, and at this point, the audience will likely think you've made a mistake. But that's okay. You tell them you can change the card, and with just a touch like this, it will transform into the card they selected earlier. This method of performing will be more effective than simply finding the audience's card directly.